Hello, and welcome to Education Today. My name is Bill Kerr, Superintendent of the Armstrong School District, and today we're launching an exciting initiative for students in the community, our school district's new weekly TV show. First, I'd like to give my sincere thanks to everybody at WIUP-TV for airing this broadcast. Today we're focusing on the recent success of the second annual Armstrong County Community Awareness Day. The theme was Drugs Kill Dreams, and it was on Monday, January 10th, 2005. The best way I can describe Community Awareness Day is that it was a county-wide information blast where community leaders used every possible outlet to reach every county resident with one single message. That message is that every one of Armstrong County's roughly 70,000 residents can do something to reduce drug addiction, domestic violence, child abuse, underage drinking, and the other social ills that plague our county. It was an absolutely amazing day. Students in nearly every classroom in Armstrong County, 5th grade and up, watched a 10-minute informational video made by Armstrong School District titled Drugs Kill Dreams. These tens of thousands of students then discussed the video's message with their teachers. There were other initiatives as well, including banners, flyers, advertisements, school assemblies, and others too numerous to mention. To talk about this, I have District Justice Gary DeComo with me today. He has been the District Justice in Ford City for the past 11 years. He serves the neighborhoods between Ford City and Freeport. Also with me today is Scott Andresi, who is Armstrong County's District Attorney and who has been a longtime prosecutor of criminal offenders. These men were both founding fathers of the first Community Awareness Day last January, and they did an outstanding job adding new impact to the most recent Community Awareness Day. So gentlemen, we're here to talk about this topic today, Community Awareness Day, and I have a few questions for you. And what I'd like you to do is just chime in from time to time, have a natural conversation, and as we go down through the topic, any follow-up questions that you might want to ask of one another would be great. Just feel free to talk about your positions, your agencies, and other agencies in the county. Let's start with this question. Why did both of you get involved and start the first Community Awareness Day? Let's start with Mr. Andresi.
Well, thank you, Dr. Kerr, and I'd like to congratulate the school district on this undertaking. Community Awareness Day was an effort, and I want to recognize Judge DeComo for spearheading the effort because he was really the one behind this effort. And it was designed to have one single message: drugs kill dreams. And it was our attempt to reach out to every resident of this community and ask them to help us in our fight against drugs and alcohol, child abuse, and domestic violence.
That's excellent. Mr. DeComo.
We felt that establishing a specific county day would raise the level of prevention awareness. In 2002, we had a drug prevention seminar, and we had one seminar in a blinding snowstorm, and we attracted 200 people. And our second seminar only attracted less than 100. And I found it amazing that we had lethal, highly addictive drugs in our community. We had recent overdose deaths. We had automobile accidents and fatalities with automobiles, and less than 100 people came to the seminar. So the idea came to me, if we couldn't attract the community to the prevention program, we would bring the prevention program to the community at all levels, through schools, the newspapers, houses of worship, any way we could to send the message to the community. We actually used the community to send the message to the community.
That's great. How successful was this most recent one compared to the one a year ago?
Well, I believe that this year was more successful. We were satisfied with our results last year, but this year we had some added help. Number one, we had the Armstrong Community Foundation spearhead the effort, and that took a little more stress off of Scott, myself, and Larry Crawford. Second, we had you, Dr. Kerr. We had the Armstrong School District total commitment to the project. The school district made a informational video that you mentioned earlier in the program. You gave us a section of the newsletter to use, and that was a big help to us this year. And it saved us time, it saved us finances, and it made a larger distribution. We're trying to affect over 45,000 people this year, and I think we're going to do it.
We appreciate the comments about the school district. Our school board and school district in general has been very supportive of Community Awareness Day, and we recognized last year the positive impact that it had on the community. So we were real pleased as a school district to join in with you. Mr. Andresi, if you look at this year's success compared to last year's, how do you see it?
Well, I think the very fact that we're sitting here talking to you today on an outlet like this is a testament to the fact that this year's program is going to reach a substantially larger population than we could last year. And that's the goal of Community Awareness Day, is to reach out to every resident we can to get that message across. The support the school district provided with the informational video, as Judge DeComo pointed out, I mean, that's an asset we could have only dreamed of last year, and this year, some 12 months later, it became a reality. The Community Foundation has just been a wonderful partner in getting this message out and providing the resources we needed. And each year we're able to bring more people into the fold, because I think at the end of the day everyone cares about this message and they want to participate. It's just reaching them and saying, this is what we would like you to do.
District Attorney Andresi, what about some of the other agencies that were partners in the Community Awareness Day? Could you just expand on that a bit?
We had agencies such as the Children, Youth, and Family Services of Armstrong County, the Armstrong County Commissioners, particularly Commissioner Kirkpatrick was an integral part of this year's event. We had Haven, our local abuse shelter, was an integral partner in this event. All those agencies came together and said, we want to get this message out with you. Our local police departments were fantastic support, as they always are, in trying to reach to the community and to their residents and get this message out there.
Just go back to Mr. DeComo for a moment. Judge, when you were able to pull all these people together, how did you coordinate all of the different agency heads and spearhead the effort? What did that take to make it happen? Noting that both of these gentlemen and all of the agencies that are headed by our executive directors and supervisors, everybody is so busy. How'd you make that commitment? How'd you put it together?
Amazingly, everybody stepped up to the plate. Everybody. Ark Manor, Haven, Scott, Larry Crawford. When we came up with the idea, everybody was interested. Everybody got on the bandwagon, because we know that it takes a community for prevention. Community effort for prevention. That's what it's all about, a celebration of prevention.
That is a powerful message. You know, when you think in terms of collaborating with the various agencies, and everybody has their various duties and roles, but the bottom line is that I think that all of those agencies, and along with the school district, we're here to help make a positive difference in the lives of young people, especially young people.
I'd like to add something to that, Dr. Kerr, if I could. It never ceases to amaze me the ability of people who are already very busy to make more time for events like this. And in most cases, it's simply a matter of saying, will you help? And it's not, well, I don't have time, I have too many other things. The answer is yes, I will. And that's been the key throughout this program. Everyone has said, yes, I'll help.
Both of you gentlemen have made excellent points along that line. I think that, we have such a good county, we have good people, and the fact that we're able to, through this venue, convey that message of sincerity and authenticity that people do care about others in our county is just very exciting, and a dynamic process that we're going through as we try to convey that message. Judge, tell us about the social equation that I hear you speak about and that you've developed. I understand it goes something like this, that crime will only go down if addiction will go down. What is the full equation, and what does that mean? Tell our viewers.
I don't know if it's a social equation, but it's it's facts. Many people with an addiction commit crimes, serious crimes in Armstrong County. And to reduce the crimes committed by people with an addiction, we have to reduce addiction. And there's only one way to reduce addiction, and that's to increase prevention. It will happen if we increase prevention, community prevention. If we increase prevention, we will have less criminal acts committed by people with an addiction.
Jim,
I'm sorry.
No,
I
that's
look
fine,
to
that's fine.
60 to 70% of the cases come in my courtroom. Alcohol-related, drug-related, or crimes committed while under the influence of alcohol or other drugs. 60 to 70%. That's scary. That's scary. That's why we need prevention.
Those points are excellent. Anything that you'd like to add to that in any respect to the judge's social equation?
I'll echo what the judge says. The bottom line is when we see cases coming into our court system, whether it's domestic violence or thefts or assaults or robberies, when you look at the underlying root causes, it's drugs and alcohol and the insidious effect they have on people's lives, and they cause people who might not otherwise commit a crime to commit a crime simply to feed their habit. And if we can begin to address the reasons why they're using drugs and alcohol, we can have an amazing impact, not just on the system, the criminal justice system, but on their lives and more importantly on our community's lives.
So, no question, the root cause of most of the crimes or violence committed by people, that root cause directly related to drugs and alcohol.
No question.
I believe that.
Gentlemen, why do you believe that addiction that you spoke about is behind much of the crime that we see in Armstrong County? We think that we live in a safe rural community. No family is immune from any drug or alcohol problem. Anything that you'd like to underscore in that respect?
We do live in a safe community, and we live in a community of great people and great kids, okay? And we're not talking about the majority of our people.
Sure.
The people with the healthy lifestyles are in the majority, okay? But we just have to communicate that healthy lifestyle through the community. The people with the addiction, and the reason I'm such an advocate for prevention, is it's proven that the earlier a young person uses alcohol, tobacco, or other drugs, there's an increased risk of addiction.
Sure.
And addiction is a life sentence. Once they're addicted, it's a life sentence. They will always be in treatment. So the key is to increase our prevention efforts. I sincerely believe, if we increase our prevention efforts, we will have less addiction and less crime.
We believe that also, in the school district, obviously through our curriculum, we have embedded units of topics of discussion to make sure that students make good, healthy choices. And K through 12, we believe that we're doing our part also in terms of drug and alcohol prevention lessons. And we've had guest speakers, and the DARE program's been real successful in the past under the Sheriff's Department. We participate with the Aaron Intermediate Unit as well as the other agencies within the county. Both of you spoke of prevention. How long have you really been involved in prevention? I know you've been a district justice now 11 years plus.
11 years.
Is that when it first began, or was it prior to that?
Within 3 months in office, I saw the devastating effect alcohol and other drugs was having on our society. I saw a 12-year-old young boy that I'll never forget, addicted to alcohol. That made me a believer. That made me a believer. And that's when I started, and I've been an advocate for prevention since that time. And I believe in it.
Well, and I know you're very sincere about that, Judge. DA Andresi, how long have you been involved?
I've been involved prevention-wise. Well, prior to becoming district attorney, I was a public defender, and I too saw the effects of drugs and alcohol had on people's lives, and it breaks your heart when you see families literally torn apart. And then when you prosecute crimes and you go to a crime scene and you see firsthand the effects that drugs and alcohol have on people's lives. If that doesn't affect you, you need to do something else, because when you see a 4- and 5-year-old child have their home broken apart because of drugs or alcohol, or you see a teenager literally having their life taken away by drugs or alcohol, we have to do something. The alternative is unthinkable. And I think that's why Judge DeComo, myself, Sheriff Crawford, the school district, yourself, this kind of an outlet is so important to get that message out, because addiction is addiction, and it will cause you to do things you never would have dreamed of doing.
There's certainly a lot to be said about the old adage about an ounce of prevention.
Yes.
Certainly goes a long way. When you talk about prevention, let's just go to the next level or step. I know that both of you gentlemen are so dedicated in your roles and responsibilities, and you make every effort to get the prevention awareness message out there. But how effective has it been, D.A. Andresi?
I think it's been very effective, because we have been into schools, we have been into communities, we have been in to talk to groups, and Judge DeComo and myself are the same. If someone calls and says, we'd like you to speak, we'll go, because that's how important this is to us. And when we're seeing a change in attitudes, because we know what's on our borders. We know what's in Westmoreland County and in Allegheny County. We know what's right across the river. And if we don't do something to stop it, if we don't do something to educate our young people, I can tell you what the effect will be, and it is frightening. We can't stop this effort, ever. It's day in, day out, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because the alternative is unthinkable.
I like how you put that, because it's something that you just can't let go. It has to be a constant, consistent message,
Yes.
24/7.
Every day.
To do your part. In your case, sir, prevention, effective?
I believe prevention is effective, and I believe when you send the message out and continually send the firm message out on prevention, I believe it's effective. It's hard to measure the effectiveness of prevention, but as Scott said, look at our surrounding counties. Some of our surrounding counties, they took young kids to the hospital every day overdosing on heroin, crack cocaine. We've had a few, but nothing like our surrounding counties. And I believe that if we continue to push ahead with a community effort, that it's effective. And I believe that. I thoroughly believe that our efforts have saved or improved somebody's life.
I'll just build on that and give you an example. In the school district, we have an anti-bullying program. And the name of the program is the Starfish Program. And there's a story about this gentleman walking along the seashore, and he's throwing back starfish into the sea, And somebody comes upon him and says, why are you doing that? How are you going to make a difference? And basically, it is a story where he says, well, it's going to make a difference to this one. You're not going to save them all, but if you can save one life and change a life, obviously that makes a difference. Let me just go to another question. I know that some people in the county, maybe an ordinary citizen, might just believe that it's the police's job to do the prevention aspect. How do you react to that?
I'm glad you asked that question, because every time I speak to a community group, the one consistent message, regardless of my topic of conversation, is this: there are only so many police officers on the streets. They're very busy. They're a dedicated, loyal group of people, but they need your help. They need everyone's help. They need you to be extra eyes and ears. Sure. They need you to be watching your neighbor and your neighbor's children. And when there's a problem, they need to know, because they can't be everywhere at one time. But they want to help, and they will help if they're given the resources they need.
And I would think, along with the police, as well as all the other agencies, we need to be the eyes and ears of the community.
Absolutely.
So it's everybody's job to, as you just said.
And I think that's why the title is Community Awareness Day.
Sure. I like that. Judge, what do you think? Police's job?
It's not the police job, it's the community's job. The community's job for prevention. Everybody has to take part. All responsible adults have to look out for each other. That's what I believe.
When we have, we should help people understand that why is it that when some people call tips into the police to you, or some about a suspected drug dealer or other happenings in the community that's been going on for weeks or months, why is it so apparently slow? It's seems like a slow process to get action
Well,
in those circumstances.
I wouldn't be the right man to answer that question. I think it would be Scott, because they don't really call tips into me that often. But Scott would be
Sure.
the man to answer that question.
It's a very simple answer. On December 17th of last year, we initiated one of the many activities of our narcotics enforcement team. We picked up 17 people that day. That was a result of about 8 months' work. And what we do is, when we arrest someone, we not only want to take them off the street, but we want to make sure when we arrest them that we can have a good arrest, a good prosecution, and a successful conviction. And that takes a lot of work, but I think the community needs to know that every day, 24 hours a day, that work is going on. So that when you make that call and your neighbor makes that call, that becomes a piece of the puzzle that we need.
That's an excellent point. I know that, again, the ordinary citizen may see that as a slow process, but it's about quality.
Exactly.
Doing your research.
Exactly.
Doing the homework.
We not only want to
making
arrest
sure
them, we want them in jail.
Convicted in the end.
Absolutely. Sure. Absolutely.
Okay, we're going to wrap this up. I have one other question. I think you alluded to it, Judge, in the beginning. That why do you believe that cigarette smoking is a gateway to drug experimentation?
Well, I make it a habit to talk to the people that are addicted that come into my office. Most people with an addiction start using cigarettes at an early age. And it's a fact that if you use cigarettes at an early age, you're 100 times more likely to use marijuana and other harmful drugs. The addiction process takes over for a young person with the first cigarette. I believe that, and it's been proven.
The research shows it. We continually tell our students in our schools, we want you to make good, healthy choices in life, because there's so many negative consequences to those issues. Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing your time today. We appreciate the fact that you're so busy, have a busy schedule, but you've taken time to be with us and to convey a very important message to our community. It's pretty evident that students and others in the community need to make good, healthy choices, and we've learned today that in order to prevent a crime, we must address the drug and alcohol issues, because there's a direct correlation to those types of crimes. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you, and I want to
Judge
thank
Tacoma.
Dr. Kerr, thank you.
DA Andresi, thank you for being here.
Dr. Kerr, I want to thank you again, and on behalf of the partners, I want to thank you for your total commitment to the program this year. I sincerely believe that you have made the Armstrong School District a model for the schools partnering with the community, and we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I thank you very much, but it takes a collective effort, and we're in this together, so we're good partners. We're pleased to do that. And once again, thank you, gentlemen, for your participation today.
Thank you.
Also, I'd like to thank Barb Keller, who teaches television production classes at Ford City High School, for her assistance today. Mrs. Keller's students from Ford City did an outstanding job filming today's program, and they are learning quite a lot at our state-of-the-art TV production studio, which is located at the Katanning Area Middle School. In future months, high school students from West Shamokin, Elderton, and Katanning High School will also take their turns filming this program. Under the direction of Don Swanson, our district's multimedia technician, who would also like to thank for his hard work and efforts. Please join us again next week for another look at the Armstrong School District and how we are on the move, working with the community for you and your children. That's Education Today. Until next time, have a safe and enjoyable week.